Adrian Vale thought he could protect his secrets forever. Elena Cruz believed their 15-year hidden love was safe. But when a $40 million inheritance was revealed, their secret world collapsed, leading to a shocking mystery, betrayal, and a deadly truth hidden behind royal walls. Asterisk asterisk. Dr. Adrian Vale had spent decades building a reputation that few people could challenge. As the personal physician for the royal family of the fictional kingdom of Alvaria, he lived a life surrounded by privilege, influence, and secrecy. His name was associated with trust, professionalism, and loyalty. He was the man called when powerful people needed medical care away from public attention. From the outside, Adrian appeared to have everything. He had a successful career, a respected position, and access to the most protected circles in the kingdom. But behind the carefully controlled image was a private life that almost no one knew existed. 15 years earlier, Elena Cruz arrived in Alvaria from the Philippines with dreams of creating a stable future. She began working as a nurse at a private medical center that provided care to important figures connected to the royal household. Unlike those who chased fame and attention, Elena preferred to stay unnoticed. Her dedication, patience, and ability to handle pressure quickly earned the trust of those around her. Her professional connection with Adrian started quietly. They worked together during difficult medical situations, and over time, their bond grew stronger. What began as a partnership between two healthcare workers slowly became a secret relationship hidden from the world. Adrian understood the danger of being exposed. His position meant every action was watched, and any personal scandal could damage his career and reputation. Elena also knew that their relationship had to remain invisible. For years, they managed to protect their secret. But a sudden death inside the royal family would bring their hidden connection into the spotlight and reveal a mystery involving a fortune worth millions. For 15 years, Adrian Vale and Elena Cruz lived two completely different lives in public, while sharing a hidden connection that remained carefully protected. Adrian continued serving as a trusted doctor for the royal family, attending important events and maintaining the image of a respected professional. Elena continued her work as a nurse, keeping a low profile and avoiding anything that could attract attention. Their relationship survived because they understood the importance of secrecy. They avoided public appearances together, kept their personal matters away from colleagues, and never allowed rumors to grow. To outsiders, they were simply two people connected through their medical careers. Over time, Elena became the one person Adrian trusted with the pressures of his unusual life. She knew about the responsibilities that came with treating powerful families and understood the burden of keeping sensitive information private. Their connection was built on years of shared experiences, but the secret also carried risks. The closer they became, the harder it was to separate their private world from the dangers surrounding Adrian's position. Many people around him wanted access to information, influence, and opportunities connected to the royal household. The situation changed when a wealthy royal relative passed away and left behind a massive inheritance. The announcement of the $40 million fortune created unexpected attention. People who had ignored Elena for years suddenly wanted to know who she was and why she was connected to such a valuable inheritance. Questions began spreading quietly. Some wondered why a nurse had been included in a fortune linked to royalty. Others searched for hidden reasons behind the decision. As curiosity turned into suspicion, the secret relationship that had survived for 15 years started moving closer to being exposed. The inheritance became the key that opened a mystery nobody expected. The news of the $40 million inheritance shocked everyone connected to the royal family of Alvaria. For years, people believed the fortune would remain within the traditional royal circle, passed down through family members and trusted advisors. However, when the official documents revealed Elena Cruz as the hidden beneficiary, the entire situation changed. Elena, who had spent years living quietly as a nurse, suddenly became the center of public attention. Many people struggled to understand why such a large fortune had been left to someone outside the royal family. Her connection to the elderly royal figure became the focus of intense curiosity. Investigators began examining the history behind the inheritance. They discovered that Elena had played an important role during the final years of the royal relative's life. She had provided medical support, handled private responsibilities, and became someone trusted with sensitive personal matters. The discovery created more questions than answers. Some believed Elena was rewarded for her loyalty and dedication. Others suspected there was a deeper story hidden behind the decision. The timing of the inheritance became especially suspicious because it appeared shortly after years of secrecy surrounding Adrian and Elena. As officials reviewed financial records and personal documents, they noticed unusual details connected to the transfer of the fortune. Certain files appeared to have been carefully protected, while others raised concerns about who knew about the inheritance before it became public. Adrian found himself caught between his professional duties and his private life. The attention surrounding Elena threatened to reveal their 15-year secret, but the growing mystery around the fortune suggested that something much larger was happening. Before the truth could fully come out, Adrian suddenly disappeared, turning the inheritance mystery into a possible crime investigation. Adrian Vale's sudden disappearance became a major shock throughout the royal medical community. For years, he had been known as a reliable and careful professional who rarely made mistakes. His absence was unusual, and the people closest to him immediately noticed that something was wrong. When investigators entered his private residence, they found a place that looked almost normal. There were no clear signs of a struggle, and many of Adrian's personal belongings were still exactly where he had left them. His daily routine appeared untouched, creating more confusion about what had happened. The biggest discovery came from a hidden collection of documents stored away from his regular files. Inside were financial records, personal notes, and information connected to his future plans. The documents suggested that Adrian had been preparing for a major change in his life. He had been considering leaving his royal position and stepping away from the attention that came with it. Investigators noticed that many of these preparations had been made shortly before his disappearance. The timing raised serious concerns. Someone may have known about Adrian's plans before he could complete them. As the investigation continued, attention turned toward Elena Cruz. Because of their secret relationship and her connection to the inheritance, many people immediately viewed her as a possible suspect. The public began creating theories, and her quiet life was suddenly surrounded by suspicion. However, deeper examination of the evidence revealed that the situation was far more complicated than it first appeared. Certain details did not match the idea that Elena was responsible. Hidden financial movements, altered records, and missing information suggested that another person may have been involved. The search for Adrian's truth was no longer just about a missing doctor. It had become a mystery involving secrets, money, and someone willing to do anything to protect a hidden plan. As investigators continued examining the inheritance documents, they discovered that the $40 million fortune carried a much deeper story than anyone had expected. The money was not simply a reward or a random decision made by the wealthy royal relative. Hidden details inside the legal records showed that the inheritance had been carefully planned years earlier. The documents revealed that Adrian Vale had played an important role in protecting private medical information connected to the royal family. Because of his loyalty and discretion, a special arrangement had been created to ensure that someone who provided care and protection would receive support in the future. Elena Cruz was named as the beneficiary because of the trust she had built over many years. Her dedication and involvement during the final period of the royal relative's life became the reason behind the decision. However, the discovery did not end the mystery. While reviewing the records, investigators found something unusual. A second version of the inheritance documents existed, and the instructions inside were different from the original. The changes created new questions about who had access to the documents and why someone would attempt to alter the future of such a large fortune. The investigation began focusing on the possibility that the inheritance had become the target of a hidden scheme. Someone had a reason to manipulate the documents and control where the money would go. The deeper investigators looked, the more they realized Adrian's disappearance was connected to more than a secret relationship. The inheritance, the altered records, and the hidden information all appeared to be pieces of the same puzzle. What started as a story about a forbidden relationship was becoming a dangerous battle over wealth, influence, and secrets that powerful people wanted to keep buried. The investigation into Adrian Vale's disappearance reached a turning point when new evidence revealed that the first assumptions about the case were completely wrong. For months, suspicion had surrounded Elena Cruz because of her connection to Adrian and the unexpected inheritance. However, investigators discovered that the truth was far more complicated than a simple story of betrayal. Hidden records and financial information revealed that someone else had been carefully watching the situation for years. This person had knowledge of Adrian's private life, his connection with Elena, and the details surrounding the $40 million inheritance. Instead of exposing the secret relationship immediately, they used it as a tool to create confusion and shift attention away from their own actions. The investigation uncovered signs that the inheritance had been manipulated. Certain documents had been changed, important information had been hidden, and someone had attempted to take control of the fortune before it reached Elena. Adrian had discovered pieces of this plan before his disappearance. His private notes showed that he had become aware of unusual activity connected to the inheritance and was preparing to reveal what he knew. The evidence suggested that his disappearance was not caused by a secret relationship, but by the dangerous information he had uncovered. The case transformed from a personal scandal into a much larger investigation involving greed, power, and deception. The people who appeared closest to the truth were not necessarily the ones responsible. As investigators connected the final pieces, they realized Adrian had been targeted because he stood between someone and a fortune worth millions. The secret affair that had attracted public attention was only a distraction from the real crime hidden underneath. The truth behind Adrian's disappearance was finally beginning to emerge. The mystery surrounding Adrian Vale and Elena Cruz became one of the most talked-about scandals in the history of the fictional kingdom of Alvaria. What began as a hidden relationship between a royal doctor and a nurse turned into a complex story involving a massive inheritance, secret documents, and a dangerous plan driven by greed. After the investigation revealed the truth, Elena's name was cleared from the suspicion that had followed her for months. The public finally understood that she had not been responsible for Adrian's disappearance. Instead, she had been another person caught inside a situation created by someone who wanted control over the fortune. The $40 million inheritance eventually became part of Elena's future, but the money carried a heavy emotional cost. The fortune changed her life completely, yet it could never erase the years of secrecy, uncertainty, and loss connected to Adrian. Adrian's legacy remained complicated. Many remembered him as a respected doctor who dedicated his career to helping others, while others remembered the hidden life he protected for so many years. His story showed that even people surrounded by power and privilege could become trapped by secrets. The case also changed the way people viewed the royal circle of Alvaria. Behind the image of tradition and perfection existed a world where personal ambitions, hidden relationships, and financial struggles could create dangerous consequences. In the end, the story of Adrian and Elena was remembered as more than a crime mystery. It became a reminder that secrets can survive for many years, but the truth often finds a way to appear. A 15-year secret remained hidden until one inheritance uncovered a chain of events that changed many lives forever.